under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Patton.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Goss.
Here.
And Mayor Butler.
He's not here, but,
here tonight. How about
Ranella is.
Ranella?
Yeah, well, we got that out of the way, Arlie. Yeah. Any additions or subtractions to the regular meeting of February 12, 2018? No. Hearing none, those will be approved. Anybody here to address the council? Mr. Fox?
I'd just like to thank.
Oh, you got to get on camera, buddy.
I would just like to thank you all for working with us for the parking back behind here, and just ask that we continue moving towards having some parking down there for John Brown, Palikai, and Fox Comics and Games. But we've made really good progress, and just wanted to thank the city for that. So.
Okay, what Dan's talking about, Friday he come in, wanted to know what we could do. We've had the issue with the Palikai. So we now, everything on the south side of the island, those 6 stalls there, no city employees, or up against the Palikai building, no city employees will be able to park. The dumpsters are going to be moved. That will allow for 2 more additional parking spaces. And I'll just put it out to the council now. I talked to Dave Shinnicky, who owns the Marion Daily. He actually owns that lot between the Marion Daily and the Legion, and he's willing to lease that to the city so we can make an additional parking lot. We think up to 12 spaces, Doug, and we think up to 12 spaces, and so that'll bring, parking for our employees, and plus, after business hours or at the City Hall, we'll open it up because he's got a lot of business going into his. Well,
as does John Brown and Pally, all of us down there really appreciate the parking. So,
but, we're gonna open that up, and that that'd be a minimal cost to the city to go in there and rock that and flatten it out and whatever Doug's got to do. He's agreed to let us move his existing air conditioners there and take the one down off the wall so it doesn't fall on the vehicle. But I think it's a win-win for everybody. Dan, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We apologize for any inconvenience.
None whatsoever.
We're definitely here to support our businesses. As you've brought business back to downtown Marion, so have others, and we're starting to see a revitalization down here.
I think it's very pretty down here.
And that's what we're continuing to achieve.
Well, as somebody that would always complain when it's not right, I just thought I should come thank you when it is right. So thank you so much.
You.
I assume all that repair work will come out of the street department's budget.
Well, now that you've asked, thank you.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Well, we will be doing all the work.
Okay, would anybody else like to address the council? If not, then we'll get to the agenda. Number 1, Commissioner Hightower.
I spoke to Brent earlier. He's just a sewer repair on Castellano Drive. He's been having issues there. Scooter, he said he can do it at a very minimal price of $5,600.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Is that your motion?
Yes.
Motion, second?
Second.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay. While we're here, we need a clarification. We'll just hop back up in old business for the sewer department.
I have to thank Doug for this. He pointed out the last meeting that there was a mistake on the pricing. It should be per gallon rather than the price that we had on there before. For bioxide, it'd be $2.94 a gallon, and Odafos Plus, $2.30 per gallon, and they buy them in bulk.
Okay. Yeah, and I was talking to Brent, and I think that was 32,000 something. Yeah. He said he would love to have it for that price.
Yeah, I know.
Over the course of the year.
Right.
So
I got to thank him for pointing that out.
Have a motion, second.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Number 2, council approval of Jeremy Norris, new hire for labor's position, rates and benefits as per local labor's union 773 contract from May 2015 to 2019. Actual start date is March 5th. He had given his 2 weeks' notice, and he cannot start tomorrow, so, Doug,
Only question I had is, should we go ahead and approve for tomorrow, just in case he would want to come to work sooner? Or do we want to make it the 5th?
once we approve it, he can come anytime.
Okay.
He just didn't think he would felt right in being here
Okay.
to next Monday, and Doug, I'm sorry, I'm not the water commissioner.
That's all right. That's all right. So that would be my motion to approve Jeremy Norris as a new hire.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Cemetery?
Yes, this is a discussion that I'd kind of like to have, although the discussion, I think, at this point is probably, I think we've had all of our, let me rephrase that. I've had all of my questions answered. This is repair and restoration of parts of the Goddard Chapel. There is a wall that separates the main sanctuary, if you will, and the entry-level vestibule, or the entry vestibule. That wall needs taken down, restored, and stabilized. I've had conversations with Johnny and J.D. Shelton, our cemetery superintendent. When I first, I think my first meeting, Johnny suggested that we take 14.8 out of our budget, which kind of scared me a little bit, but after looking through and reviewing the work, what needs to be done, that type thing, and finding out a little bit more about the contractor and the subcontractor that's going to be redoing some windows, it would be my recommendation to go ahead and approve that work pending mock-ups or color samples of the glass for the stained glass windows.
And will they send samples here that we can approve?
They will probably send them to JD, and he will let us know that they're ready, and we can go out and take a look at them and approve them.
Okay.
We don't want to hamper our Memorial Day target date of having everything ready, so we're going to stay on the glass people.
Can he have that glass done by then, 12 pieces?
He thinks he can.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
He said
that's all we can
Yeah, they
hope.
would guarantee, he can't
Okay.
guarantee, but he says, if we get it started now,
Right.
if we delay it 2 or 3 weeks, probably can't get it done.
Right.
All right.
So,
That's your motion?
That's
to
my
approve?
motion, yes.
Need a motion, got a motion, need a second? Got a motion, and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call
Wait,
the
wait, hold
roll.
on, I've got a question. Is that approving this sales contract that I'm looking at?
This is approving the,
Said-
doing the work, right, Doug?
Yes.
We've already transferred the money.
Yeah, we've already
and finished
transferred the
paying
money.
for the project, so it was transferred for the purpose of paying for this project, so we voted that last meeting, as it says here.
Yes,
Now, the question is, are we now approving this
we're approving the
the
work.
sales agreement that he sent us?
Correct.
That with half of it to be paid
Yeah.
down
Well, this-
on
it's not just a
our...
discussion.
Yeah, go,
Correct.
yeah,
The proposal that was sent in, and you guys have it, was a Covenant Church Furniture quote
Yes.
proposal. And yes, my recommendation is to approve that based on prior consideration and as well as the terms of the contract or the proposal itself.
Can we
And-
vote on this right now? I mean, is this not
Yes.
just a discussion item?
Well,
Steve, since this is on the agenda, but it only says discussion, can we approve the work to be done? We actually did that last meeting.
You're telling me in the last meeting, we approved the work to be,
We actually, we money over to do the work.
Well, what did we approve last time? Just the transfer of funds, or did we
Yes.
approve the project?
I'll read it if I may, what it says. To transfer $14,800 from the cemetery fund to the Goddard Chapel Fund to finish paying for the ongoing project of repairing the art glass windows in the Goddard Chapel.
Yeah, if that's what you did, then you're fine.
Okay.
Yep.
And that will be for $35,145. Okay.
And we're authorized to pay him the half upon
That's in the
upon
con-
approval. That's all right.
That's all right, it's in the contract,
Okay.
50% upon contract,
Okay,
yes.
so we're clear. Good.
Yes, we're
Thank you.
clear.
Thank you.
Got a motion, second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Ranella.
Yay. Okay. Jim? You're next, number 4.
Yeah, item 4A, I don't think we're really voting on any monies yet, but this would just be approval to have an estimate of architectural proposal for fire department addition prepared. And what basically we're talking about is 2 additional bays on the south side of the existing fire station. This is, of course, in the continuing effort to revitalize and update the fire department. The bays we have now are just pull out and back in, so we're looking at pull-through bays and something that'll actually fit the trucks. The trucks are just barely, they kind of cringe every time they pull out, so it's kind of tight.
Yeah, they will be designed for our ladder trucks, and if you've ever pulled out a 11-foot 9-inch ladder truck out of a 12-foot high bay door, you know, it
Hope
will
there's
make
not
you
a
cringe.
Hope there's not a rock in the driveway, right? Is that bay, will that bay be between the old milk store and the south side of the existing building?
Yes.
That's where the new bay.
Yeah, the old milk store will have to come down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gail, correct me if I'm wrong, I guess we will take out the south wall and extend the building out. Is that right? Is that?
Portions of the south wall, there are structural columns in that wall that we have to retain,
Yes,
but portions of that south wall
right. And, okay, yeah. But actually, that's all the fire chief is wanting is the council to allow White and Bergoni to proceed with giving us a proposal for the structure and the costs associated.
And I'd make that my motion.
Yeah, got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Ranella.
Yay.
Item 4B, council approval to advertise property on East Main Street for sale. And this is 2 acres, I think it's out adjacent to Thompson Trucking, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So at this time, you know, depending on what kind of prices we get, we may want to use that in conjunction with the project in
Yes.
4A. So
Yep.
that would be my motion.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I have high hopes still of someday in the future, Mr. Mayor, of putting a fire department and an ambulance station on the east side of Marion. And I know originally this was bought with the idea in mind. It may never happen, but I would like to be able to secure that property in case it ever was feasible to build a new fire station. So I would respectfully not want to do this, but the council can do what they
Yep.
want.
Yeah, and I think that's all of our hopes and goals, but I think right now and what we've just did with down there and spent several $100,000s, and actually they're moving in today down there, and basically from what they built in 1969 to what they just moved in today, about the only thing that's remaining is the truck room floor and the south wall. And it's a beautiful station. It's been renovated all the way through, brought up to every standard possible, and if we're able to move forward and put these 2 additional bays on there, that station there will serve the city for 30 more years, at least. Yes, 9 short years ago when I was fire chief, that was my goal, was to build a station on the east side, but takes money, takes manpower. It just wasn't economically feasible for the city to move forward on that, and it's the same right now. It would be a big commitment for the city to do, and of course, if that was the wish of the taxpayers and they wish to move in that way, I mean, we could try to, but you're talking $2 million for a station.
5 or 6.
Oh, I thought you was giving me the thumbs up, $2 million. Oh, no, that wasn't. He's saying more. Yeah, that was okay. And to do it right, you're talking, what, 8 additional firefighters to man it properly. And we're going to get into something here in just a second that is I'm very proud of. But anyway,
That being said, I would like to reserve, we get the right to reject any and all bids, I'm assuming.
Yes.
That's part of the motion.
yes,
Yeah.
that is part of the
We
motion.
don't get a price that's satisfactory or.
No, we don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No, we
said-
do
he
not
already
have to
said
sell
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay,
said,
we got a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. Any discussion? We've already had it. Hearing no further, clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
no,
Mayor Vanella.
Yay. All right, Jim, you want me to read this? You want to read it while we're on fire department?
Go ahead.
Okay, on February 22nd, 2018, the Insurance Service Organization has dropped the City of Marion's ISO fire protection rating from a 4 to a 2, effective June 1st, 2018. The lower rating will result in cost savings to the City of Marion residents and businesses. Only 1,324 municipalities nationwide currently hold an ISO rating of 2 or lower. Effingham is the closest municipality in southern Illinois to attain this rating. Actually, Decatur got added to this list too. So this is quite a feat for our fire department. It has nothing to do with the ability of those guys to put out fires. We already know they can do that. This is called preparedness. This is being proactive instead of reactive. They spend a tremendous amount of time in inspections and pre-plannings and hydrant water flows, and there's a lot of things put into this. Actually, I hate to say this, but out of this rating, the weakest link was the fire department, our communications, our water, our dispatch. We're almost all perfect, scores of 10. The biggest thing with the fire department was manpower. So equipment-wise, we had a very high rating for the amount of equipment that we had to protect the structures that we do. Our fire flow, our water supply was well above the requirement for a city of this size and the types of structures that are inside this city. So this is a good deal. When I started, we was an 8, and that was the highest you could be with a paid department. I got it lowered to a 4 when I was chief. We maintained it, and Chief Odom and the guys down there have gotten it to a 2.
well done.
So it's a It's a job well done by our fire department, but there's other things involved here too. Like I said, communications, dispatch, and there's a lot of things entailed there, and a lot of that's got to be with our 911 system and the ability of our dispatch to receive a call, transfer that to the station. You know, Gail can tell you we got state-of-the-art system down there now. We got a CAD system. We know where our personnel is at all times through that system, and it's a good deal. So we've really moved forward on that front. And Jim, your guys need to be commended for their effort.
Yeah. Well
Thank
said.
you. Okay, moving on.
Street Department.
Street Department.
I would ask Superintendent Doug Phillips to come forth and expand on this, Doug. I know I'd like to compliment our street department on their job well done on this flooding. We had very little. In fact, what we had was down in 2 hours. All right, Doug?
Yeah, it was just a couple hours it went down. So.
That was due to the 3 or 4 weeks of preparation that Doug and his crew did. We are second to none as a street department in Illinois.
Yeah, I want to add to that, I'm very proud of the guys.
That's what I say.
They worked hard on cleaning ditches and creeks and catch basins, leaves, the whole deal to make sure what we had coming would be minimal.
Very proud of them. Go ahead, Doug, if you will.
The preparation they did prior to this storm coming in and cleaning ditches and culverts, storm drains and everything like that, helped hold down the water to a minimum. Once that rain let up, and we've seen water dropping fast, and
they were out in the storm too. Yeah. I mean that says a lot. I mean it's not fun when it's pouring down rain, but getting some barricades up for where it did get up a little bit and cleaning drains at the same time, I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, of course, if you've lived in Marion long enough, eventually it ends up on the south end, and we had to shut down Boynton and Market and South Market Road to Golf Course.
That was backwater though. So.
Oak Creole that come out of Saline County, when people need to do something with their own water, so.
Or carbon.
So anyway, but it does. It just comes down that Crab Orchard Creek water basin and flows into Crab Orchard Lake, into the Big Muddy, to the Mississippi, to the ocean. It's just something that's went on forever, and
yes.
And our flood control project continues to work. And we have very minimal flooding and for short periods of time, but
it was
it was a good deal.
For the amount of rain we had, it was very minimal. So.
Yes.
I might add too, it's comforting to know that you and your crew are out running the streets when things like that happen. I happened to be out in it and was on my way home, and I passed 2 city trucks. And I'm thinking that's great that they're already on top of it. Yeah. So thank you and your department. We try to at least get out ahead of it. I do anyway, and try to have them out ahead if we can do anything to prevent it. So I mean, from all of our buildings, it was in danger with all the rain we had. It's worked out well. So asking the council on item 5A, it's. Our Vector truck that we use for storm drains and all the work that we just done in this recent rain, the main pump went out on it, and we had to have it rebuilt prior to this, and it was an emergency. It was $9,415 for that main pump and that big Vector, and it was a lifesaver on this run to have it out on there. So I was asking the council if they would approve that the bill of $9,415.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay.
5B is one of our Caterpillar Tracos had an engine go down on it, and it's a foreign-made engine in that Traco. It's hard to find, and after doing a lot of searching, we found one in Peoria that was a complete engine that you just don't happen onto it, and it's a complete changeover. Everything brand new, it's a swap out. The other one was not repairable, and
Okay.
ask the council if they would to approve that for the engine in the cat trackle that we use.
For $9,305, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
And I'll add that we do have a warranty on this one, so that's a plus. 5C is our road paint and beads that we use for our striping in the spring. I don't order it prior to winter for storing it, and the chance of transporting it, because it is a latex product and it will freeze. So they guaranteed me last year's price if I ordered the paint early here. So we're in the weather where they can go ahead and ship it. I did have it in the budget, and it will be in the approximate range of $21,000 to buy in bulk. I save several $100, roughly $1,300 in shipping, because they'll transport it for free in buying on a load like that, and the price also comes down quite a bit in price per gallon. So
I'll make the motion to approve that for $21,000.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
I like one other thing, Douglas.
Yes.
Would you care to answer the questions I've been receiving as whether we put up our Christmas lights early or if we've taken them down late?
Well, normally when we take them down, we had two ice
I
storms.
know that. I want you to.
And they are coming down tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
Tell them why.
we went up here with a big bucket truck, the tall one, to get up to the tower and blow the seal on a cylinder. So I have to do it by a certified dealer to have them done. And we're having issues with them two cylinders. We got them put back on today before quitting time, so we'll be back up there tomorrow to
Yeah.
change out all the crisp, but the rest of it, it'll be gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want me to leave the red and green lights up there?
I love the red and green lights, yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Hub Recreation Center, Chris, come forward.
Council, Mayor, I've got two employee recommendations, new hire recommendations, part-time, both part-time. First one is Lori Shelley for group aquatic instructor at $20 an hour. A name spelling correction on that. It is S-H-E-L-L-E-Y. And then our second one is Brandon Lynn for 4 different job classifications: front desk attendant, $9 an hour; cafe attendant at $9 an hour; fitness attendant at $9 an hour; and basketball, sports, and rec staff at $8.50 an hour. And
I'll make a motion to approve the aforementioned personnel at the listed salaries.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Renella.
Yay. And 6B will be for
executive.
executive
All right,
session.
thank you.
Okay, code enforcement 7A, I want to table 7A at this time for some more clarification and discussion with the fire department on it. Catherine, did I see you here?
In the back.
Oh. Would you like to come forward and talk about the bids? Actually, you guys got your sheets?
Yes, somewhere.
Actually, that was already approved, the properties,
Yeah,
Yes.
that was already approved on January 22nd.
yeah, to sell them.
To sell them?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so.
good. All right, actually, number 2, 303 North Garfield will be taken off the market, and that will be given to Habitat for Humanity. Okay. Number 8. Gail?
Yes, Latina Poole, the Executive Director of the Senior Citizen Center, would like to have the council approval of a Carletta Hanks as a clerical substitute. This would be a person who would fill in just when the assistant Beverly or other assistant Kathy, the two clerks, are absent. So it would only be a substitute, and that would be at $11 per hour.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Ranella?
Yay. Okay, number 9, Cultural and Civic Center. Gail, you got these?
Yes.
Okay.
For the Marion Civic Center, we had a full-time position that was created by the resignation of J.W. Ibeck. The executive director and staff have reviewed all resumes and would like to hire Russ McCann for a full-time custodian. And that would be beginning with at $9.50 an hour for a 90-day probation, and then to increase to $12.50 an hour to fill the vacancy. And $12.50 was the range the former person was doing.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second. Discussion. Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Ranella?
Yeah, number 10 will be for executive session.
Oh, could I do
Oh,
9B?
I'm sorry, we got 9B, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Also, for the Marion Civic Center, 2 part-time individuals who work after shows and cleanup for custodial at $9 an hour, Corbin Vaughn and Nicholas Manise.
Is there a motion on the floor?
That motion.
Got a motion and a second.
Who seconded?
Commissioner Hightower on the second, Commissioner Patton on the motion. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Ranella?
Yay. Steve not here? This is actually yours now. You want me to,
Number 10?
number 11. You want Gail or I to speak on it, since you,
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I'd rather you take the,
yeah, Gail.
that was what I was talking about.
Number 11, we did, Steve, the treasurer, Steve Hale, and I wanted, and along with Mayor Ranella, to review our health reimbursement plan that we have set up for our city benefit package. We wanted to review the funding and the instrument and the legalities. And we used, our bond counsel recommended an attorney in Indianapolis who's a specialist in health reimbursement plans. So the invoice for $6,453 is for an expert who said our plan is suitable. And our legal counsel, Rhett Barkey, our labor attorney, was also involved.
Well, I'll make the motion for that then.
Yep.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Patton?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Ranella?
Yay. Number 12, Gail, would you like to do this one?
Yes, this is a TIF agreement with the city and Marion Self-Storage, which is on Carbon Street. This is an amendment to the agreement. Lee Webb, who is Marion Self-Storage, purchased some additional ground that is located on the west side. It would be behind priority staffing. And at that time, it's in a TIF area. And he was amending, he wanted to amend his TIF to add land acquisition and site preparation. It wouldn't be for everything, but it would be for part of it. One of the things that the council might recall, Mayor Butler had tried to discourage using TIF for self-storage units and duplexes because we were getting an abundance in the TIF areas of some of those items, or those buildings. And so Lee Webb agreed to do 4 retail units in front of his self-storage. He's got a couple of them rented, so that would bring more sales tax dollars to our TIF area, which is one of our purposes. So this is just an amendment, doesn't change anything except increases part of the acquisition to property and site preparation.
Does that go behind him, Gail?
Yes, the units are already built. It's for RV storage.
The RV storage, yeah. Okay.
And this is the run-of-the-mill TIF agreement
Yes,
that we do?
yes, it's an amendment to
on
his
every
current agreement.
Yes. Okay. I need, entertain a motion.
Move or approve ordinance number 3430.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We got a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Ranella.
Yay. 13 will go to executive session. It's a real estate contract. I think I'll take just a minute here and apprise the council, as most of you know or have heard, that the school district contacted myself and asked about the possibility of putting a school resource officer in. We went to the high school, met with Gail, myself, and Chief Tondini went to the high school, met with the several administrators of the high school, along with the president of the school board, Mike Absher, and Superintendent Keith Oates. And they asked us at that time to give us some figures of what a police officer was worth and give it back to them.
Priceless.
Well, they are. They are. And when Steve attained those figures and give it to them, I think they was a little taken back by the price. And it come to $137,000, but that's an investment that people don't realize that we got in a police officer. And that's everything. That's his salary, vehicle, uniforms, training, benefits, and everything. But it's a sizable price that we have to protect the community. And they asked what we was willing to do, and of course we asked what they was willing to do, because you asked first. So they said, we'll pay for 174 days, which comes to about 66% of the salary. And we said, well, that will be contingent upon the council's approval. It's not on the agenda. Actually, we was waiting on them. They did have a school board meeting. I didn't see it on their agenda, but it was our understanding from Superintendent Oates that the school district could live with that and was ready to move forward. So beginning in August of 2018, we will have a school resource officer in the high school.
What does that net down to us, Mayor? 50,000 city share, about 137, what, paying 40% of it?
Yeah.
Well, it benefits and plus
Yep.
startup, we had startup, the school district, there were quite a few, the salary and benefits were like $92,000 total for year one, and then we had an additional, everything from car to lights to set up the car, the radios, that was another 40-some thousand dollars.
That'd be a one-time expense.
It'd be
One-time
a one-time
We're talking
expense.
about
And so we
$90,000 annually.
we were looking at a 5-year contract. Steve Green's going to be working on an intergovernmental agreement.
We pay 40% of the 90.
It's we
34.
pay about
34.
yeah, just about that.
So when school's not in session, what, the officer's just going to go back in
He'd be a patrol person.
Yes, he would go back to working at the discretion of the chief.
Sound like a good deal to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's going to be good for all of us.
Good
So.
deal.
Yeah, and I think everybody realizes that, this isn't the cure-all. It's a step in the right direction. I think, we need to have further discussions with the schools and to give them ideas, what we think, and, in addition to the officer, make them safer for our kids. But I think, and we all agree, one thing that, whatever the cost is, if we protect our kids, it will be worth it.
Right. In the interim, aren't there like officers in the beginning of school and the end of school?
They've increased that
Yes.
time,
Right.
Yeah,
Each
actually,
officer now is going to be in school for an hour a day.
yeah. So we've upped that. If you're out in Marion from 7:30 to 8:30, from 2:30 to 3:30, you drive by a school, there's a good chance you're going to see a squad car in very close proximity to that school. Whatever effort is taken to make this, I think this is going to be great. And I think, putting officers and having them go into the schools and build that relationship with them, with those kids, that, if they know that, or they hear that something's wrong or could be wrong, if you build that relationship, they may come to that officer and let them know that, and it can be stopped before it happens. So this is just the very first step, but it's a step in the right direction, and we'll be getting together here very soon after our counselor has that contract and both parties look at it, and we'll bring it to the council's attention, and we'll move forward.
That officer will mainly be at the high school, right? But he will have the ability to, I think, frequent the other
yes.
schools.
Yeah, the officer will be at the high school, but he will go to other schools on a random basis. That basis won't be anything in particular. He may leave the high school at 8:30 one morning and go to the middle school at 8:30, stay there for a while. He may the next day wait till 1 o'clock. I mean, there will be no rhyme or rhythm as to what time he leaves and goes to another school.
Yeah, you want to be what we call systematically unsystematic. In other words, not being predictable.
That's right.
Well, it's also my understanding that the school board president, along with other people, are going to interview the officer along with police personnel.
That's right. Yeah,
they want to know who they're getting.
Yeah, and that's just fair. We'll I think some names of the chief sent emails out. There was
how many like
Yeah,
two
or three.
Yeah.
Not much interest, huh?
Yeah.
They're mostly veterans, like.
Yes.
Yeah, and they need to be. I think we want somebody there with several years' experience, and but I think it's only right that the school district do the interviewing and put the person they feel that is best fills their needs. I agree 100% there. So anyway, just wanted to bring the council up to date on that. Moving forward, Commissioner Hightower, do you have anything for the council?
I thought Doug had something there.
No, I was just going to reaffirm what you had already said. I think relationships with the students is key in that whole process.
Oh, yeah.
Vitally important. So
interact with them in a non-adversarial context.
That's right. That's right. Mr. Webb?
Just activity report for January with the police department. We actually had 9 city ordinance violations, 20 warrant arrests, 83 traffic accidents, and 3 DUIs. So.
Now, what did everybody do besides Sergeant Francis? Those are all your numbers, right?
Yeah.
Department continues to do a good job and stays busy, and we appreciate everything they do.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Goss?
Nothing other than might approve payment of the bills, monthly bills and funds are available.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb.
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Vanella.
Yay.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Okay, need a motion to go into executive session to discuss real estate and contracts. Anything else? No. Okay, need a motion?
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Patton.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Vanella.
Yay. Going to probably go in this order. Glenn, since you should be the shortest, we'll let you go first, and then Ben Boyd and Gail, and then we'll let the presentation on the transfer station go. Thank you all for coming. If everybody would exit the room so we can get this process going on.
Anthony, we're going to stay